Have you ever felt a connection so powerful that it shook the very core of your being, only to be left wondering why it came into your life and what it truly means? Perhaps you've met someone who feels written into your soul, yet the relationship is filled with challenges, separation, or an intensity that you can't explain. You sense it's not just love, not just attraction, but you can't quite name the deeper reason this person has appeared. That uncertainty can be overwhelming, leaving you searching for answers that go beyond the usual definitions of romance. In today's video, we're going to strip away the illusions and dive into the real purpose of the twin flame connection, the divine mission written in your soul contract long before you were born. This isn't just about being together forever or sharing a spiritual hobby. It's about activation, the kind that wakes your spirit from its slumber, dismantles every false identity you've built, and calls you into the highest version of yourself. You'll discover whether your connection is here to comfort you, challenge you, or completely transform the trajectory of your soul's journey. By the end of this video, you won't just understand your twin flame connection, you'll see it through a completely different lens. Pain will stop feeling like punishment and start revealing itself as divine preparation. Separation will no longer be a void, but a vital part of your soul's awakening. You'll walk away with clarity, purpose, and a deep knowing of why this connection was placed in your life and how to step fully into the mission your soul has been waiting to fulfill. So, take a deep breath, stay with me until the very end, and let Spiritual Universe show you the truth that will change how you see yourself, your twin flame, and your entire journey. Number 1. Before you met the soul contract. Long before your eyes ever met in this lifetime, your souls had already leaned toward one another in the quiet expanse of eternity and whispered a resounding yes. Yes to the remembering, yes to the work, yes to the mission that would test and transform you in ways the human mind can barely comprehend. Twin flames are not chance encounters or fleeting romances. They are two halves of the same original soul essence, once whole and undivided, now split across the vast corridors of time and space. They choose to reunite, not for comfort, convenience, or even earthly companionship, but for the highest possible expression of spiritual growth and evolution. Before you incarnated, you made a sacred promise, a covenant etched into the very fabric of your being. We will meet again when the world is ready to hold more light, and when we have prepared ourselves to carry it. This agreement means your mission did not begin on the day your eyes first locked in recognition. It began the moment your soul chose to enter this life, with the deep knowing that you would mirror back to each other both your most tender wounds and your most luminous truths. The pull you feel, the ache of separation, the sudden triggers that cut to your core, and the magnetic force that draws you back together, none of these are signs of weakness or failure. They are the very pathways your soul's designed to awaken the alchemy within you. The divine mission of twin flames has never been about simplicity or ease. It is a pilgrimage into the fires of transformation, where one soul living in two bodies finds itself again, not to return to what once was, but to rise into something greater. In this sacred reunion, you ignite light codes that ripple far beyond personal love, sending waves of awakening through the collective. These codes awaken hearts, shift timelines, and infuse the planet with a frequency that cannot be replicated by any other bond. Every moment, whether it is joy or grief, union or separation, is part of the divine design. This contract is not accidental. It is precise, intentional, and infinitely wise. It calls you to remember that your connection is not just for you, but for the healing of many. The love you share is a living flame, one that will burn through illusions, reveal hidden truths, and illuminate the path for others. This is the soul contract you agreed to long before you were born. It is not bound by distance, time, or circumstance. It is the quiet promise that when the moment arrives, you will recognize each other, not with the mind, but with the soul, and in that recognition, the mission begins anew. Before we move forward into the next stage of this journey, I want to invite you to pause and reflect. How does this soul contract resonate with your own experience? Have you ever felt that undeniable pull towards someone, as if the meeting was written long before this life began? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Or if you simply want to affirm this truth for yourself, type "My soul remembers" below. And if this message is touching something deep within you, please take a moment to like this video so it can reach and awaken others who may need to hear it. Your engagement helps us keep bringing these messages of light to the world. Number 2. The first phase of the mission: inner alchemy. Before your shared light can ripple outward to touch the lives of others, you must first walk often alone through the unlit corridors of your own soul. This is the reality most twin flames face after that initial, electrifying collision of energies. One moment, love feels infinite, magnetic, and undeniable. The next, it slips into silence. Longing turns to confusion, and the connection that once felt eternal now seems distant or even torn away. Yet this separation is not a punishment, nor is it evidence of failure. It is the first sacred assignment written into your divine mission, the stage where true transformation begins. Inner alchemy is the ancient process of turning the emotional lead within you into spiritual gold. It demands courage, the willingness to confront illusions you've lived by, to acknowledge traumas you've carried for lifetimes, and to dismantle every belief that has quietly kept you from embodying divine love. This journey is not about fixing your twin, nor about endlessly chasing reunion. Instead, it is a calling to return home to yourself. Your twin flame does not exist to complete you. They exist to mirror you. In their presence, and even more powerfully in their absence, they reveal the wounds you've hidden from the world, and perhaps even from yourself. The fear of abandonment, the need for external validation, the struggle to believe you are worthy of love. These wounds are not exposed to harm you, but to purify you, to strip away all that is false so that only your truest essence remains. This is an initiation, and it is far from gentle. You may feel stripped bare, emotionally raw, and at times completely lost. Yet, it is in this very crucible of discomfort that your dormant power begins to awaken. Every tear becomes a cleansing. Every moment of stillness becomes a chance to listen to your soul. Every shadow you face becomes a stepping stone toward embodying your divine essence. In this phase, you learn that your worth is not dependent on your twin's presence, response, or recognition. You learn that love is not something to be chased, but something you already are. And as this realization deepens, you begin to radiate a light that is not fragile or conditional, but unshakable, a light born from having faced yourself and chosen to rise. When you emerge from this inner work, you are no longer the same. You stand not as half of a whole, but as a sovereign, luminous being. From this place, any future union with your twin is no longer about filling a void. It is about two complete souls meeting in alignment. And that is the essence of inner alchemy, the sacred, solitary transformation that makes everything that follows possible. Number 3. Signs. You're in the inner alchemy phase. When you are in the inner alchemy phase, you begin to feel an unmistakable and sometimes overwhelming pull to heal the wounds that were planted in your earliest years. These are not just surface-level issues, they are the deep, unspoken aches carried from childhood, often buried so long you may have believed they were gone. Suddenly, they rise to the surface, demanding to be acknowledged, felt, and released. Alongside this, you may experience sudden and unexpected spiritual awakenings. Vivid dreams, intuitive downloads, psychic insights, or flashes of knowing arrive without warning, leaving you both amazed and unsettled. It is as though an invisible hand is guiding you to see life, yourself, and your connection through a higher lens. Old patterns and toxic habits, things you once clung to for safety or comfort, begin to lose their grip. People, situations, or cycles that no longer match your energy naturally start to fall away. At times, this can feel lonely or even disorienting, but there is also a growing sense of clarity. You notice you are often triggered, sometimes intensely, yet these triggers no longer send you spiraling into the same old reactions. Instead, they become invitations, opportunities to choose healing over hurt, growth over regression. During this phase, the connection with your twin flame begins to shift in texture. It no longer feels purely physical or romantic. Instead, it becomes something more ethereal, more rooted in spirit than in form. You may feel their energy in meditation, sense their emotions at a distance, or communicate in dreams or through subtle synchronicities. The bond is still alive, but it is no longer driven by the chase. It is being rewoven on a soul-to-soul level. It's important to understand this is not a detour or a delay in your journey. It is the sacred foundation of your activation. Only when the divine feminine and divine masculine energies within you are recognized, healed, and brought into balance can you stand fully in your light and serve your mission. Without this inner harmony, any external union would be unstable. With it, you become a steady vessel of love and wisdom. In this stage, you are not just healing for yourself. Your work ripples outward. You are healing for your twin flame, for the generations that came before you, and for the collective consciousness that connects all of humanity. Every shadow you integrate, every old wound you release, becomes a gift to the whole. This is the sacred fire of transformation, the invisible, powerful groundwork upon which every later phase of your mission will be built. Imagine a woman named Elara who met her twin flame in a way that felt like pure destiny, an electric connection, a recognition that went deeper than words. But only months later, the relationship collapsed into silence. At first, she thought the pain was because she lost him. In truth, what she lost was the illusion of herself she had been carrying. In the quiet, she began to notice patterns, how she always felt the need to prove her worth, how she feared being left, how she avoided her own emotions by pouring everything into someone else. One day, after a particularly intense dream about her twin, she woke with the urge to call her estranged father a man she hadn't spoken to in years. That conversation cracked something open, releasing decades of unspoken grief. As she healed, she noticed her energy-changing toxic friendships faded, her work became more aligned with her values, and she began trusting her intuition in ways she never had before. Though her twin was still physically absent, she felt his presence more strongly than ever, not as someone she needed to chase, but as a mirror reflecting her own wholeness. Through her healing, she realized she was also healing wounds that stretched back through her family line, breaking cycles of abandonment and fear so that future generations would know a different kind of love. Number 4, energetic union and collective service. There comes a point on the twin flame path when your inner work has ripened enough to open a doorway into something extraordinary, a state where your souls begin to merge in a way that defies physical limitations. This is the stage of energetic union, and it can unfold even if you are still oceans apart, with no calls, no messages, and no physical meeting. It is a merging that is not dependent on distance, contact, or external proof. Instead, it is an inner knowing, a quiet yet undeniable shift where the need to control the journey begins to dissolve. Your heart no longer races with anxiety at their absence. Instead, it beats steadily, anchored in trust. The longing that once felt like an ache transforms into a steady warmth because you no longer seek them from a place of emptiness. You radiate love from a place of wholeness, a fullness that cannot be taken away. From this center of inner stability, your mission naturally begins to reach outward. The pain that once felt so personal, the wounds, the tears, the dark nights of the soul becomes transmuted into compassion for others. It is as though the fire that once burned only inside you now spills outward, lighting the way for others who are still lost in their own shadows. You begin to notice a deep pull toward service. This may manifest as creating spaces where people can heal, whether that is a physical sanctuary, an online community, or a safe presence in someone's life. You may find yourself channeling divine messages, working consciously with energy, guiding others to balance the sacred feminine and masculine within, or simply choosing to embody love in the smallest details of your day, in the way you speak, in the way you listen, and in the way you hold space for the truth of others. At this stage, you are no longer just two souls longing to be together. You become living mirrors of divine union, walking examples of what it means to embody balance and love beyond conditions. Your presence alone carries a frequency that others can feel, even without words, a frequency that softens defenses, inspires truth, and awakens dormant parts of the soul. You are no longer focused on when or how the physical union will happen, because the energy of union is already alive within you, and it is enough to change everything. And this, more than titles, labels, or achievements, is the deepest essence of the twin flame mission. It is not measured by what you build, how many people you reach, or what milestones you hit. It is measured by what you awaken first within yourself, then within your counterpart, and finally within the collective heart of humanity. In energetic union, you become a bridge between worlds, a living channel through which divine love can move freely. And as that love flows, it does not just heal you and your twin, it sends ripples across the energetic web that connects us all. If you've made it this far, it means something in these words has touched your heart, perhaps reminding you of moments on your own journey. I'd love for you to pause for a moment and reflect, what has your path taught you about love, healing, and service? Have you felt this quiet yet powerful merging of souls, even across distance? Share your story in the comments below, so others walking this path will know they're not alone. And if you're not ready to share your full journey, you can still leave a simple affirmation by typing, "I embody divine union," to anchor this truth into your life today. Number 5. Sacred union and anchoring light, the living flame of service. When both twin flames have walked their inner paths long enough to heal, honor, and harmonize the divine feminine and divine masculine within, a rare and extraordinary threshold reveals itself, the threshold of sacred union. This is not the clinging of attachment nor the illusion of fantasy. It is a soul-aligned reunion that arrives only in divine timing, when both hearts are steady, both spirits are clear, and the mission calls for their light to merge in the physical realm. No human will, no force of desire, and no manipulation can summon it before its appointed hour, for it is orchestrated by the higher plan itself. In sacred union, your energies do not merely blend, they amplify. Your presence together becomes a living frequency of peace, healing, and transformation. People around you may not fully understand why they feel lighter, calmer, or more open in your company, but they will sense it. Old patterns in the collective consciousness begin to dissolve, making space for new ways of being to take root. The choices you make as a unified pair carry a ripple effect far beyond your personal story. Every time you choose compassion over control, truth over comfort, love over fear, you are anchoring light into the very fabric of the planet. This anchoring is not symbolic, it is energetic work that shifts timelines, clears karmic patterns, and opens pathways for others to awaken. You become a living beacon on the energetic map of humanity, a point of reference for what is possible when love is both fierce and pure. Your union sends a silent but unmistakable message into the collective field. Love in its highest form exists, and it is here. Yet, sacred union is not the finale of the twin flame mission. It is the acceleration. It is the moment when your shared flame burns so brightly that it demands deeper service not as a duty, but as a natural expression of who you are. Together, you step into roles you could never fully embody alone. You create spaces, experiences, and vibrations that shift the emotional and spiritual climate for those around you. Your love ceases to be solely your own. It becomes a force that works on behalf of the whole. Whether you are in physical union, in a period of separation, or somewhere between, you are already on mission. Every tear you shed, every shadow you face, every layer of healing you claim, all of it sends waves of light into the world. You did not come here only to find your twin flame. You came here to awaken the sacred flame within yourself, to protect its brilliance, and to let it shine without fear or hesitation. In the end, this journey is not about holding someone else's hand forever. It is about holding the torch of your own soul high enough that it lights the way for others. Sacred union, whether internal or shared, is the embodiment of that light, and the world is waiting for it. The divine mission of twin flames is not about clinging to a label, rushing toward a perfect ending, or simply being together in the physical world. It is about transformation, a soul-deep activation that awakens every corner of your being and calls you to anchor divine love on earth. This is not a race to find someone. It is the unfolding of a sacred blueprint written into your soul long before your first breath. You are the embodiment of that love, walking it, breathing it, and becoming it. Whether you are in harmonious union, standing in the ache of separation, or navigating the uncertain space in between, you are already on your mission. Every tear you shed waters the seeds of compassion. Every shadow you face becomes light for another's path. Every choice to heal, to forgive, and to love anyway sends ripples through the collective. You were never here simply to meet your twin flame. You came to ignite your own sacred flame and let it blaze so brightly that the darkness cannot stand. The twin flame path will test you. It will strip away illusions, challenge your faith, and ask you to surrender again and again. But if you walk it with courage, integrity, and trust, you will see that you are not merely two souls in love, you are ancient flames, reunited across lifetimes, carrying a light that is meant to heal humanity. Your love is not just a feeling, it is a force, a prayer, and a living proof that divine union is real. So let this be the moment you stop waiting and start living your mission. Let your journey itself be the offering. Let your love be the lighthouse. Let your presence be the answer to the prayers of the world. If these words speak to your soul, I invite you to type in the comments, "My light is my mission," a declaration that you understand and embrace why you are here. And before you go, remember to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this truth, and watch the video just below the screen because your journey is still unfolding, and the next step might be the one that changes everything.